Hello, welcome back to Roll with Pat. Today I am not rolling anywhere right now, but I rolled somewhere today and I want to talk about that experience. So this video is about my eye. As you can see, I'm wearing an eye patch, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you what this is about how I was rolling to a doctor and they just drew brakes on me. Yesterday, I had a little swelling on my lower eyelid over on the left eye. When I woke up this morning, it was more swollen and really like red and itchy. So I decided to go to the doctor. So I left home at about after 8 in the morning. So first I checked my usual doctor, but they aren't open on Tuesdays. I think the last Tuesday I went, they said it was just by appointment, and when I checked their website, it said Tuesdays were closed. So I Google mapped doctors nearby, and I found a hospital just down the road. So I decided to go there. So I left home about 8, I think the bus was 8:23, and it was 4 stops away. So when I got there, I showed them my eye, and they don't speak English, but the person in the reception used her phone and translated her questions, which was, if I was hitting my eye, which I said no. I just woke up with the swelling, and I filled out some forms. It was in English, asking since when I had the symptoms, where they were, and my info, my name, address, phone number, etc. Then she was looking through a booklet that had English on one side, Japanese on the other side. So she was looking at Japanese to find the corresponding English to show me. So she was directing me to dermatology. So I was waiting over in that section, not for long, and then I was called, and when I went in, the doctor was saying, no, this is not a dermatological issue. He was asking me if the itching is around on the skin or the eye, and I said it's my eye. So he said I need to go to the eye doctor, but they would look for one for me. So then I went back into the waiting room and waited to, I was waiting there. I wasn't sure what I was waiting for, but I was waiting, and then it was getting longer and longer. So I went up and I put in my phone in English, what am I waiting for? And it translated to Japanese and showed them, and she said it was a document. Not long after, a gentleman came out with some papers. So the documents were actually maps. So they had found some nearby eye doctors, specialized eye doctors. So there was one that was just down the road, like 4-minute walk or less. So I said I'll go to that one first. When I got there, I would like to see a doctor, and I showed them my eye, and they asked me if I spoke Japanese. So I said, not really. All right. So they were giving me a form to fill out in Japanese. So I took it because I could use my phone to translate what's on the paper and answer the questions and put my info. It's basically asking me the same stuff from the other doctor: symptoms, how when they started, my personal info, and if I have any allergies, if I'm on any medication, if I'm pregnant or breastfeeding. While I was filling that out, a female nurse, I guess, or one of the other receptionists, came around and came with her phone and was showing me something. So she typed, she was using a translator, so she typed in Japanese, it came up in English, right? So she was asking if I spoke Japanese. I said, not really, right? But I'm proactive. So even though I don't speak Japanese, I was being proactive and using my translator to translate the questions on the introduction form, since it was my first time there. Right, so she was using a translator to ask me these questions. So that she then typed that no, I can't get a consultation because the doctor doesn't speak English. So I'm like, why does he need to speak English, right? He's a doctor. I'm a patient. We don't need to correspond outside of him looking at my eye, making a diagnosis, and prescribing any medication that can alleviate the symptoms and so on. They wouldn't even try. And I'm thinking, you are using this translation app to tell me you cannot give me a consultation because I don't speak Japanese and you don't speak English. Why couldn't this medium have been used by the doctor, or even by you in there with the doctor, to let me get medical attention that I am here for? And they were basically just not interested in even trying. So I just took off the sheet that I was writing on, gave her back her clipboard, and I got to stepping. I was in such a huff that I didn't even realize I had left my health card until I heard a chick running behind me, "Sumimasen, sumimasen," to give me my health card. So, you know, at this time, my eye is like in some serious discomfort, and I just scrunched up their map, the map that had their office on it, and threw it in my bag. So there was another place which was over the mall, which was like maybe a 10-minute walk. So I decided to go there next. So that's where my usual regular doctor is. But there was also an eye doctor there, so I decided to go and try to see them. So, okay, I got there and, you know, showed them my eye, and they're like, if I speak Japanese? I said, not really. I am there, oh, musikashi. And like they went to the, like where the doctor was, I guess, and then came back and they're like, oh, what did they say? English correspondence is difficult. So by now I am very annoyed and frustrated and upset, and like, you know, and so I typed in my thing, like, this is the third doctor that I have been to this morning, and so I'm like, I typed, this is the third doctor that I have visited this morning, and have been unable to get medical attention. And they're like, oh, so this, you know, like, I see, or whatever. And then they came back with the same thing. They can't see me because of that. So I'm like, you just need to look at my eye. You just need to look at it. What do we need to correspond? Like, I can fill out the form. I'm proactive. I can use my translator, check what the form is saying, fill it out, right? You don't need to know anything else, right? I can tell you I'm not allergic to anything. I'm not taking any meds. I'm not pregnant. I'm not breastfeeding. You know, so all the doctor would need to do is look in my eye, make a diagnosis, prescribe the drugs or the meds or whatever, eye drops or whatever. That's it. So I left there in a huff too. And by this time I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go home and just like, if I go blind, then, you know, I'm just gonna, because I'm not gonna be doing this all day, right? I am paying health insurance, and like, I am paying just like any other person who lives here. Maybe I'm even paying more than them, right? Because a percentage of the health insurance that I'm paying is for old people here, right? And yet I am seeking medical attention and I'm being turned away, right? That is not right. I mean, you know, suppose it was something more serious, right? It's not fair. And as a doctor, like, you can in good conscience turn away somebody, like, without even looking, without even trying. You know that there are foreigners here. Yes, I too could learn their language, but at the same time, as I said, it's not necessary because we can use the translation app, right? But it didn't even get that far. They're just like, nope, nope, not gonna see you. We can't deal with it. Not gonna stress out ourselves, without even trying. So on the way back across towards the station, I checked Google, like, English speaking eye doctors, and one came up, and I called them, and the receptionist spoke Japanese, but then when she heard me speak in English, she told me to hold on, and then somebody else came on, a male, and he asked what the problem was, and if I went to make an appointment. I told him I went to come now, so he said, okay, just come. And by now it was after 11 a.m, so like I had been on the road for like 2 hours already. So 2 hours and 3 rejections later, I went to this other place, and when I got there, they gave me the form in English, and then I had to wait, and I saw the doctor. Now, the doctor's English was not perfect, but he tried. He examined my eye. He told me what his diagnosis was, and that he would give me an eye drop and a cream, and that was it. Simple. There was no heap of communication. There wasn't a lot of communication, right? So the first hospital, I do not fault, because they didn't deal with eye problems, right? And even though I didn't speak Japanese, they were still willing to see me. The doctor was still willing to see me. And it's after consulting, he realized that wasn't his department, and he made other recommendations. So the first hospital was not at fault, all right? But those other two, and as I explained, the doctor that I finally saw did not need any elaborate conversation. He did not need any English other than, okay, put your head here, look up, look down, look left, look right. And even that could just be done with gestures, you know? So Japanese or English is not needed for that. And understanding, it's like there are ways to communicate without knowing language, you know? There are other ways to communicate, like gestures work. That's basically what he did, because his English was not great, right? But he tried. And yeah, so after that I got the meds and was able to go home. I have been to a few doctors here. I have been turned away like at other places just because they don't want to be bothered with a foreigner, right? And as a doctor, like, don't you take an oath to help? Isn't that what your purpose is, to help patients? Like, how can you in good conscience, as I asked before, how can you in good conscience not even try to help a potential patient, right? Somebody is seeking medical assistance and you're turning them away. Like, I fear having something serious, having a serious problem, and that happening. Now, I have done 2 surgeries in Japan, and the first surgery, the doctors were not necessarily English speakers, right? But they did what they needed to do to communicate the necessary things. And as I said, I'm also proactive. I will use my translator, and if I don't understand something, I will ask them to type it in Japanese so I can get a translation, right? So there's no misunderstanding, or I'm able to understand, right? And with the other surgery, that hospital allowed an interpreter. So I was able to get an interpreter to come. I was able to get or use the interpreter service. So that was good. I've been to other doctors who have, you know, tried, well, not tried, but who have done their job and given me their medical attention. I've been to some others that have not even attempted to. I've been to a doctor, and he has his own translation app, so he just talks into it, a device or something, and he just speaks into it, and then it speaks back the English, right? I mean, and I appreciate people like that. Like, a lot of these doctors, like, and then it's like you don't know until you go there, and then you're turned away. So yes, there might be English speaking doctors here, but sometimes the access isn't as convenient or as fast as getting somewhere that is closer, right? Suppose you don't have time to be going out of town or out of the way to an English speaking doctor. You have an emergency. What do? Now, as I said before, I could learn Japanese, but right now I cannot do that. That's not gonna happen right now. So, and I'm not confident that if I take sick, that it's in my best interest to try to get a doctor, like, because the time I'm running around trying to get a doctor to see me in as fast a time as possible could be my demise. So it is a scary thought, and I think in general, like, I in general, I believe that's an issue in general. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be some you know, basic English education. And even, as I said, they don't need to be native English speakers. I mean, it's a very basic, it's just the basics. Or use a device, use an app, right? It takes no time at all to just type in or speak the Japanese and have the English follow, right? But you can't be turning away patients. I'm paying my health insurance. I have to pay health insurance. And why am I paying health insurance when my access to medical care is limited because of language? Because they can't be bothered to try to assist, even though they don't need a bunch of English. They don't need a lot of English ability to help, to do their job, to be a doctor, to make a diagnosis. Like, are they reading the English in my eye? It's why they can't consult, right? Is the English here? No, it's not. This is a medical problem. You're a medical doctor. Look, diagnose, and prescribe whatever you're prescribing. As I said, they can't be the fear of, like, me being allergic to something or whatever, because I was filling out the form with all of that information, right? So it's just lack of, I don't know, but it's just a lack of care. So yeah, my eye is in a bad way right now. So I'm wearing this patch because it's a bit sensitive to light and stuff. So I'm wearing this gauze over it to try to, like, not have it strain against the light and so on. But yeah, like, big up that doctor who, you know, helped me today. So hopefully I will be better soon. But yeah, this was not this was not a good experience, and sadly it's something that's probably going to happen again. So I don't even know what can be a solution to that, because I mean I don't have time to be studying Japanese, and even if I'm studying Japanese, I mean, I don't have the time to study Japanese, but I don't need to study Japanese either. I've lived here for 8 years and I have been getting by thanks to Google Translate. So these doctors need to be more open-minded about assisting foreign patients, because they just see a foreigner, they think about English, and then it's like they just panic, and that is not good. People can die, you know, it's a serious thing, right? So yep, that was my day today. I'm just sharing because you know, it's something that maybe other people have gone through, and you know, you appreciate home in times like these. Like, you may be in a foreign country and like some things may be better, but like when it comes to your life and your health, that is very important and a very serious matter. So that needs to be something that is also better. So medical care might be better here, but when you're being refused medical care because you don't speak the language, that is a problem. And I will say again, yes, I too could speak Japanese, but I don't need it. And because I can use a translator. Well, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts or opinions in the comment section below. Yeah. Ta-ta.